Look what the cat dragged in. Michael.
Yeah, they let me back on.
Yeah, he said he was desperate to come back on, and we're going to Korea this week. So I was like, Mickey, get yourself on the stream, lad.
To be honest,
Got no grant.
Because I've been fighting with
Feels-
ChatGPT for weeks. It just goes to you. Like no human interaction every single week. You go insane.
Sitting in his boarded up room with the dog, just playing around with fucking AI tools. Absolutely mad. How are you guys? You good?
Very well, thank you. It kind of feels like nostalgic to have Mike back, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's been on a journey, this show. Podcast or whatever. It feels corny to call it show. I got the thing yesterday on Buzzsprout. It was like 25,000 downloads. Like that's RSS alone. And it made me realize, I was like, oh, people actually listen to this. So I like, because when I come on and whether it's us three or whether it's Grant or whoever it else is, it's like a weird feeling. Like it doesn't actually feel as if people are out there listening to any of the nonsense that we're coming out with, but evidently they are. So I suppose the pressure's on you this week, Mike. I hope you've done your research.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I was like, Grant's been on, probably giving him some like high value like insights, and then you've got me, which to be honest, we will see.
Yeah, we will see. So, right, straight into what you need to know this week, because apparently there's quite a few things that you need to know. So, Upbit, South Korea's largest exchange, launches the testnet of its L2 blockchain, GIWA. Would that be pronounced Giwa? I suppose it would. Celestia's V6 upgrade Matcha goes live on its Arabica testnet. Polymarket and Kalshi are eyeing new fundraising rounds with a $9 billion valuation and $5 billion valuation, respectively. Tether unveils USAT, its dollar-pegged stablecoin tailor-made for the American market. The Avalanche Foundation is looking to raise $1 billion to create 2 AVAX treasury companies. One for you there, Mickey. The London Stock Exchange rolls out its blockchain-based platform Digital Markets Infrastructure, DMI, powered by Microsoft. Here's a fun one. The Bank of England is proposing limits on stablecoin ownership, suggesting caps between £10,000 and £20,000 for individuals and £10 million for businesses. Polygon rolls out hard fork to fend off transaction delays. SEC chair expresses support for crypto super apps. India's central bank warns that regulations could legitimize crypto assets and create systemic risks. Pakistan formally invites crypto businesses to apply for licenses under its new federal regime. Trump files a $15 billion defamation lawsuit against the New York Times for damaging his reputation, business, and the Trump crypto project. Circle becomes a direct stakeholder in Hyperliquid with an initial purchase of 80,000 Hype tokens worth approximately $4.6 million. Google releases AI payments protocol that supports stablecoins, and the partners include Coinbase and Salesforce, and Polymarket to launch prediction market for public company earnings. Any of those get your juices flowing, lads? That was a lot of headlines.
Super juicy, yeah. Very rich amount of content to dig through there. I think there's just been so much like institutional level stuff. It kind of seems boring in a way, but there's obvious progress being made all the time here. So
yeah,
we'll cover the fun stuff, shall we?
Oh, is that the deal? You just want to cover the fun stuff? Can we just talk about the UK stance for a minute, please?
God, yeah.
What do you think? Like for the bean eaters out there like us that listen to this thing, how do you navigate this at the minute? Because then I also obviously saw a tweet the other day saying the US and the UK had come to some sort of agreement, like coalition agreement on
crypto, yeah.
Crypto.
Yes,
so like what is going on?
I think that'll supersede whatever this statement was, because it was a Bank of England statement pretty much telling people they could consider obviously stopping you from moving your GBP into a stable coin on the internet, I guess, but kind of doesn't make any sense either, because they're trying to say you've got 50 grand of Bitcoin and you want to sell that Bitcoin. What are you going to sell it into? You have to sell it into stables before you can off-ramp it. So they're trying to say that would be illegal at that point. I don't really know, but I think anytime a government tells you what you should or shouldn't be doing with your money, you need to take note, because it's probably a signaling of worse things to come, I think. So get your money out the UK.
look what I've found. The Blockmates podcast is brought to you by Yeet.com, and they're giving away $500 every single week to our audience and listeners. All you have to do is go to the link in this episode's description, sign up, be active over there, and you're in the mix. Yeet.com is built by our mates Mando, KBM, and pro poker player Ben Lamb, and it's got everything from crypto-themed games to a sports book coming very soon. So please go over there, check it out, have some fun, and gamble responsibly. So Watcher Guru, some fantastic adverts for suits here, by the way, boys, if anyone's looking for...
That's your algorithm. You've been looking.
Some new threads. There's my algorithm as well. Sleep apnea breakthrough while thousands are switching to this pillow. That is the creepiest ad I've ever seen. Anyway, US and UK to announce new crypto cooperation deal. By the way, this wasn't planned. I've just completely thrown this on the fellas because I'm intrigued, but this is what we're all about, isn't it? So the US and UK are set to announce new digital assets cooperation deal that would include crypto, according to sources close to the deal. The drive to build closer transatlantic coordination in digital assets and capital markets was discussed on Tuesday between Rachel Reeves and the US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, sources tell the Financial Times. Per the Financial Times, the deal was reached in a last-minute discussion. Of course it was. Talks were arranged after the crypto industry groups wrote to the UK government last Thursday, ahead of Trump's state visit this week, urging Britain to include digital assets and blockchain in any new deal with the US. In addition, the deal is expected to also include stablecoins, a wave in crypto that the US has been riding throughout this year. So what's funny about that is the headline that I've read out, as you said, guys, is obviously means fuck all.
Yeah. Essentially, Big Brother's going to come in here and take the reins and say, listen, UK, we need to pump crypto markets, let everyone use stable coins, buy up the T-bills. We're going to be told what to do. So I think any meeting between the US and Rachel Reeves, I think she's going to have a handheld, isn't she?
Listen, plasma's coming online, so you better pull your fucking finger out. Mike, I know you love talking UK policy around crypto.
Well, yeah, like you saying, Gaz, she doesn't have a fucking clue, so she just needs to be told what to do. And again, we've rejected. I think there was a few pro crypto groups in the UK. They'd push for a digital asset treasury for Bitcoin, and we turned it down and said we wouldn't do it. But I wonder, in terms of that deal, if that paves not just for stable coins, but it does pave the way for other assets, and whether we would consider it more if we do have a deal with them. It's absolutely ridiculous that we aren't considering stuff, especially when I think inflation data came out today and we're still fucked. It hasn't moved, still 3.8%. So yeah, we need to make some changes, and we're stifling innovation in the UK. So with this government, I just don't know.
If the UK do purchase Bitcoin, that is your intergalactic top signal to sell everything. That'll be the most obvious.
Did you see that Nigel Farage is doing the digital assets? Yeah, doing DAS in London. He's doing a keynote.
Do you want to know a quick side note on this one? Actually,
go on.
Text this week from my uncle. I've tried to
don't make Bitcoin, this political, guys. Be warned.
No. I tried to buy Bitcoin this week, and I've gone through some affiliate link from Nigel Farage, so I'm expecting to get rugged. It's only 200 quid, but is this normal? I was like, you don't need to go through an intermediary. And yes, you're probably going to get rugged.
Right. Anyway. It's funny. The last thing I'll say is it feels like this is becoming a bit of it'll be a weaponized thing politically, in the same way that it was in the US in the lead up to whenever our next general election is going to be. Left v right, all this kind of shit. But then, having said that, look, we've currently got Labour, and you've got Rachel Reeves meeting with the US on this sort of thing. So I'll take the optimistic view. Let's see how it plays out. But it's a bit of a mess at the minute, isn't it, frankly? Right. So look, first place we're going to start this week is the whole pump.fun thing. It's been sort of, basically capturing mindshare completely. So the crux of this is that the pump token actually recently passed 3 billion. And this has sort of come on the back of its newfound appreciation among streamers, really. Obviously, we covered this, back, weeks ago now, when obviously Pump went out and live, and then there was noise of all sorts of insider stuff going on. It started tanking, and then for many reasons, it has now had a bit of a comeback. And then it feels like, I think pivot is the wrong word, but it's certainly in a place where it's expanding its offering beyond just being the shitcoin launch platform that it was. So I'll read through some of this key information, and it's quite long, this, so we'll stop each point during the way and kind of discuss it. So pump.fun creator payouts hit 20 million in a week. CEO says it's nibbling Kick, Twitch and Rumble's lunch. So pump.fun's native token has crossed the 3 billion mark, as I said, with this achievement coming alongside a revival of the platform's controversial live stream feature and a fresh wave of creator-focused incentives, positioning the Solana-based launchpad at the center of ongoing debates about meme coins, streaming, and community-driven finance. So obviously, pump.fun is primarily known for launching shitcoins, as we know, and it's had a lot of negative press around that. But sometime last year, they introduced live streaming, and it was met with a lot of controversy. They kind of had to suspend it in late 2024 because people were, I think, killing themselves and all sorts of mad shit on stream, as we know, like rug pulls. We had the famous quant token, didn't we? That I think me and you guys both top blasted the shit out of that. But basically, in April, they reintroduced the feature, but they also introduced stricter moderation, and then pump.fun expanded live streaming to all users in September, connecting token launches directly with streaming sessions. So this is the point that I want to just jump off quickly before we go back to this. What do you know about this currently, guys, as far as the streaming being tied to the tokens? And then I'll get into where they're taking this from a Web2 front.
Yeah, so if you want to stream over there, to start streaming, you create this creator coin, which is your streaming token, right? So what we've seen is just a raft of people start off this meta early, and now it's got some traction with these fees that are associated with it. It's like really sparked. They've kind of caught lightning in a bottle again. Hard to distinguish whether this is sustainable at all, but they've definitely got the churn on the platform back. So what they did was created these creator fees. So essentially, from the fees taken from any trade, you're taking a rake or a clip of that. And this scales with the market cap as well. And it kind of goes up as the market cap increases, you're making more fees, like more of a percentage. And then eventually they start to scale back down on the other end. So the incentive here is for creators to stream and get volume. And if they get volume through, they create a lot of churn, and thus they're getting a good clip of those fees. And prime example this week, Alex Becker did a stream and within an hour had 40 million volume on his token. And he made 300K in creator fees from that alone. So it's hard to tell whether these incentives are aligned, because it doesn't really matter if your coin pumps per se. You just want people trading in and out of it as the creator.
Yeah,
they're not really incentivized to make it go up. So that's kind of where it stands. And you've had a few like clips going off, and pump.fun have really leaned into the clipping of everything now. I think they've got teams of people actually clipping as much content as possible. And a load of them will go around with like a chick at some form of event, and she was saying, I've been streaming and I've made 30K in the last 24 hours. And that went viral, and you can imagine everyone is coming out the woodwork and wants to start a stream, because if you can make 5-10K in a day streaming, why not? So that's kind of where we're standing at this moment in time. And you're having a Cambrian of explosion of D tier at best content on there, but there are some standouts as well. I don't know if you want to go into them.
Mike knows why I'm laughing. Right. So what I want to say on this, just to be clear, and every step of the way here, so I want to make we're covering the story properly. To stream, guys, but the de facto process is there also has to be an attributed token.
The coin gets minted. Yes, correct.
Exactly.
And then people can purchase that on the bonding curve as per the previous method of using pump.
Yeah. So there's no way around this. If you just want to use Pump as a Twitch streaming platform, there has to be an attributed token, hence the creator fees, and that's where that kicks in. Okay. Mike, before we go further down that route, because there's more to this story and how they compete with Twitch on that, what do you think of that as a sort of, it's obviously working, it's really, really good for Pump, but, well, as it stands, but how do you feel about anyone launching a token just because they've started a stream?
isn't it just really a wolf in sheep's clothing from what we've previously seen? Like, it's an iteration of what we've seen previously, but with video and everything like that. But it's no different to people launching a meme coin and then getting creator fees from that, because that's what they were doing previously. Like, people were launching rug after rug and getting the fees from that, as well as anyone's liquidity. So, like you said, guys, I don't know how much staying power it has for people that like it. And it depends how much legitimacy it has. Obviously, kicking, Twitch, and all of these, they have a reason there, because they've got big names like your Aiden Rosses and all this type of stuff, where obviously they make a hell of a lot of money from that. And I think it's more donation based on there, isn't it? So I guess from a user perspective, if you have like some big players on there that are standouts that can gain traction, is it a bit like we've seen it with like the football thing the other week, pump.fun? Is it a case of just people being able to bet on these markets and actually make the money out of it, instead of just donating money directly to them with nothing really to gain back? So that's what people do on Twitch, don't they? And that's how they make a hell of a lot of money, as well as endorsement deals. I don't know. I like I say, I feel it's a bit like wolf in sheep's clothing, and pump.fun have just been extractive all the way through. And why would they change that now, apart from just the longevity of it?
I mean, Chop, who was on the other week, messaged me. It was on Saturday, and I was in the pub for like 9:30 Saturday morning. It's not usual, by the way. It was just I was going to
It is.
I'm not. I was going to the football, which kicked off at 12:30, and Chop messages me, and he's like, "I'm hatching chickens on stream. Come join in." I was like, "Not today, mate. not today." But to be like devil's advocate here, right? If people are having fun, who cares?
I think it's a case of they've created a new meta. People are interested in potentially buying an X Kaisen out or whatever it is. So there's going to be churn now. But if you look at the majority of charts so far, they're all the exact same end result as previous pump fund meme coins as well. So it's like, with money exiting the casino at all points going to creators now as well as pump fun, like, it can only last so long, I believe. But I think their goal will be just to get some either internal big winners, so promote from within, maybe the bagwork kids can pop off properly, or if you can get someone to pivot over from a Twitch or a Kick and bring millions of viewers, then for pump fun, that's kind of them showing that they're winning, going to mean increased market cap for the token, and said creator probably makes serious money and then start shouting about it. So I think it just perpetuates this flywheel. But the flywheel has to end at some point. I don't really see how it sustains.
So let me show you this then. This tweet here. The biggest flaw with creator coins is the creators are incentivized to keep their price down. Creator fees significantly decrease as the price goes up. So 200k market cap is a 0.3% fee. 22 million market cap would be a 0.075% fee. That's 75% less. So top coins like Bagwork are earning much less fees now their coin is higher priced, which disincentivizes them to continue making content. Pretty large flaw that I expect the Pump Fun team to address. So what do you think of that then? How it kind of throws you off a little bit, really, I suppose.
So the fact that the fees change and do reduce after a certain market cap isn't inherently bearish, though, because it's the volume that the creators are going to get their clip off, right? So even if you have something sat at 10 mil market cap, but no one's trading in out of it, it's not going to create that much fees. But obviously there is what I think the kind of mode from Pump's point of view is like, you can get a lot of small creators here generating an actual sustainable income. You don't have to have over a mil market cap, sub 1 mil, but decent volume. Like you do a live daily stream, and from the data I've seen, people go off stream, coin dumps, come back on stream, coin pumps, obviously. So if you can work the system correctly and just ensure you've got volume, you probably can make a sustainable living off this whilst it's hot, you know?
The thing is though, it goes back to like the other side of the trade, which is obviously the user. And like, and again, if these are so volatile, up and down, how many people are losing, and therefore it's just contributing to money leaving the system.
Well, I think a few tokens were down minus 80% this morning. So yeah.
Yeah. I saw another tweet which I can't remember. I thought earlier it was a reference point, but I forget now that some wild that X percent, like over 90% were all down like 95% as well. But look, there's no denying the numbers that are being thrown up here. I said we're going to do this by segments, so we're going to dive back into this. So there's a tweet from Hoem as well, obviously like doing some bullish and bearish catalysts for pump. And obviously after the ICO in July raised 1.3 billion across public and private rounds, it has obviously rallied like more than 100% in the past 2 weeks. And some of the daily launches on the platform are obviously super high, as we're saying. More than 31,000 created and nearly 300 graduated in the past 24 hours, surpassing the likes of Let's Bonk, typo there. So there's been, as I've said, over 30,000 launches on Let's Bonk, 241, Launch Lab 94, Believe Tokens 81, Moonshot 369, Boop 59. It's obvious there's a clear winner here, but the thing for me is there's also a sort of discrepancy with it. Just feels like the battleground keeps changing at the same time. It's like 1 minute we're all falling all over each other for one platform. It was Let's Bonk a few months ago, and then it comes back over here. Is that just part of the game, or would you rather see like a clear front runner?
I think Pump's pretty much cemented itself now with the numbers they've produced over the last week or so. And so it's going to take these other teams to try and pivot and match this now, which is something to maybe have on your radar. But I think Pump is just so dominant with mindshare users on their mobile app as well, which I don't think the others have got the ability to stream via mobile app yet. So I think they've just got a huge head start here. And it has just become the casino of choice for this cycle. And they've just shown they're able to iterate and create new products on top of the same pig, different lipstick, right, as Grant says. But they're able to generate these new narratives. So what's to say once this one fizzles, they can't create another one?
Yeah, there was a Laura Shin did an interview with Noah, one of the co-founders of Pump, and he was talking about how they don't want to be a crypto company, which I feel like we hear that more and more often these days. And I guess you can kind of read into that because they've also expanded the ecosystem with this Project Ascend initiative. And what that is it basically adjusts the creator fees to support the smaller projects, as Gaz has explained, and the ongoing buybacks funded by nearly all platform revenue. And then, according to data from Blockworks, pump.fun now captures more than 80% of Solana's Launchpad market share, as we've quite clearly read some of those June statistics there. And additionally, the platform has also recently flipped Hyperliquid in terms of 24-hour revenue, which when I read that, I thought, that's pretty fucking crazy, isn't it?
But if you don't want to be a crypto company, how would you move away from that when everything you base,
when you're streaming and you're launching tokens on chain?
everything is tied to a fucking token.
Yeah, it's kind of contradictory, I suppose. But this is the stat here. So roughly 81% of launch meme coins trade over 90% below their peak. And pump.fun continues to face scrutiny from regulators, including a lawsuit earlier this year over alleged unregistered securities activity. Critics also question whether live streaming can attract mainstream creators without reputational risks. And there's a tweet here from Retika. I don't think many actual serious big streamers will move to pump.fun to stream. The money is just not worth the reputational damage with their coin when it swiftly goes to zero. Smaller streamers probably keep showing up though to rinse crypto degens. Creator coins just don't work. So, I mean, I know we've spent a lot of time on this, haven't we? But do you agree, Mike? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because like you say, Aiden Ross and stuff. There's obviously all like MLG and everything like that, the meme coins, and like the risk that their damage to their reputation that it took from that and the meme coins and FaZe Clan and all the involvement there with Frank the Gods. So if he's obviously said he's done with crypto and everything like that, and like he got in with the wrong crowd. If he's probably one of the biggest names, so what chance have you got of anyone also taking that risk unless they need a massive payday? And with the deals they've got with mainstream, I guess, companies and stuff, I don't think they need to. There's no incentive.
Yeah. So I want to just finish this with some of the degeneracy that we've been seeing, which comes with the territory, doesn't it, lads? It's not our first rodeo. So there's this one that's launched, which is called. It's given like major Joker vibes, and I mean the concept is, I can imagine, very very simple. You are dared to go and do something which just like the stupidest fucking shit I've ever seen, like pouring this coffee over yourself. And these people didn't grow up where we grew up, lads. It's evident. Then you've got this one where these two fellas literally just stood in a bedroom with lamps on their head, throwing shit at each other, 40 or 50 market cap. This one hit. Then you got this fella, and this tweet says, "This is a diabolical cook within the streamer meta. CCM at its finest. Dude spent the last $20 he had on Solana to create Runner, and he started a movement, something different that hits hard, 10 toes down in this."
He's trying to lose weight, I think. So he's on the stream just doing, like, just walking consistently and losing a few pounds. So there's kind of an underlying benefit, I guess.
Oh, like I can see that that's sort of what he's saying with he's trying to be supportive while also just saying buy my bags.
Yeah.
What's this thing at? This thing's at 2.8 million. Go on, guys.
There's an interesting one as well, Kindness Coin, where they're using the creator fees to just tip people on streaming platforms, like finding people with 0 viewers and then just like paying some expense for them. Or so they've nice. Tapped into the positive feedback loop of, right, people are going to trade our coin because they know if they trade our coin, then we're going to feed back this money into creating viral content that is a net benefit to society. And I think they helped some woman with like cancer the other day, so like that went viral. So there are some people who are using it for good, but the vast majority are just going to try and grift it, right?
Kobe did it, didn't he? He seen that, with a bloke playing a guitar, and he gave him some money. So stuff like that, I can totally get behind. It's just the grift of extraction that I'm like, fuck off.
I mean, that's the good old days, isn't it? Like Kobe on Twitch, like going around. I remember there was like artists, and he just say play a Nirvana tune, and then there'd be an influx of DJs, and they'd send them like 150 grand. And these people's heads would like fall off live on Twitch. So I quite like that, to see us going back towards that sort of thing. But look, fucking hell, 27 minutes in, we've just been talking about streamer coins. I'm sorry if you have no interest in that this week. Been dominating our mind share. So, right, where do we go from here? So native markets wins the USDH race. So Athena did drop out of the race before the vote. We covered that. I think that happened in between us covering last week, did it, guys? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Yeah. Paxos updated its proposal by reopening PayPal and introducing 20 million incentives, but as expected, native markets emerged as the winner. So the project will deploy its inaugural Hyperliquid improvement proposal for USDH and an ERC20 token in the coming days. Soon after, they'll also kickstart a testing phase for mints and redeems of up to $800 transactions, with an initial group that will be followed by the opening of the USDH USDC spot order book, as well as uncapped mints and redeems. So won't dwell on this for too long because we've covered it heavily, but what do you think, guys? So promotion from within the ecosystem is the bottom line, isn't it? Which is the way we thought it was going to go. Are you surprised? Do you like it? What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. It was the community first, community aligned, Hyperliquid aligned kind of play. It was quite obvious that they were going to win from the polymarket stats early doors. And I think they're going to be the quickest I listened to all the spiel from various players in this one. They're going to be the one that can get this to market quickest as well. And they're already testing, or starting testing this week, I believe. So I think the kind of TLDR from this is like, this was the Hyperliquid aligned team that's won, which is no surprise they won. And 4D chess from Jeff and team via this governance proposal has paid off as well, because not only have you got USDH coming to market, Circle, Jeremy Allaire have bent the knee as well. And they're coming in a major way now to Hype as a result of this whole governance proposal, because they could see writings on the wall. Hyperliquid are going to really back USDH. We need to up the ante. So it's worked out perfectly from a Hyperliquid perspective here.
Mike, have you been following this one at all? I know we've had it a lot on the last 2 weeks, but what have you thought about the whole circle controversy?
If I'm totally honest, I haven't massively been following it. I've stable, I think we're talking about this again with Grant in terms of every sort of chain moving towards having their own native stable coin, and therefore probably the yield tied to that as well. What I just thought was interesting is that the whole circle investment, given this and that's been allowed, that they've bought all these hype tokens that you mentioned, and their participation, I guess, further participation in the ecosystem, and what that looks like.
And on the back of this as well, Van Eck is looking to file for a hyperliquid spot staking ETF in the US and an ETP in Europe. The firm also wants to allocate a percentage of the investment product's net profits to hype buybacks.
So yeah, if Circle done that is just to bolster their treasury. They're looking at, have they got inside track in terms of that ETF? Because what does that open the door for? Obviously, there's no centralized exchange listings, is there at all? Only in terms of hyperliquid, for obvious reasons. It's a competing product. So what's the upside there if it does gain further traction from the ETF? And then what does that mean for exchanges, really? Are they sort of forced into that? Can they turn it down, and do they need to list it because of the potential volumes there and the fees?
Who knows? Base, Gaz.
Yep.
So here's another one that we'll rattle through because I feel guilty at 31 minutes that we've barely covered anything else this week. So Coinbase, Base might finally get its own token. Here's what we know so far. So obviously Base, being the ETH L2, is taking its first steps toward potentially introducing a native token. This announcement came from Base creator Jesse Pollack during the Basecamp conference in Vermont on Monday, marking a notable shift from Coinbase's earlier stance that there were no plans for a Base token. While the team has emphasized that nothing is finalized, the idea is now officially on the table. So from gas fees to governance. So until now, Base has relied exclusively on ETH as its gas token, positioning itself as an extension of Ethereum rather than a self-contained ecosystem. Pollack framed the network's role in similar terms at the conference, saying Base is a bridge, not an island, highlighting the chain's goal of connecting more deeply with the wider Ethereum ecosystem. In a blog post published the same day, the Base team explained why the token conversation is emerging now. When Base launched, our priority was clear: to build a secure, low-cost, developer-friendly chain and ecosystem. Launching a token wasn't necessarily to reach those goals, and we wanted to focus on the core product. The shift comes after Base reached milestones like sub-second, sub-cent transactions and advancing to stage 1 under Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin's roll-up decentralization framework with the launch of permissionless fault proofs. A token, the team noted, could help accelerate decentralization, open new opportunities for builders, and support the network's long-term vision of an on-chain economy. And then Brian Armstrong waded in, confirmed the exploration phase on X, stressing there are no definitive plans at this stage. Where do we think this goes here? Because I want to throw it to you guys. I know you covered it on the bulletin, and the interesting thing is the Solana bridge as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
massively. Considering the context of this story and initially expanding the Ethereum ecosystem to then Torley's infamous tweet the other day. So yeah, thoughts, Gaz?
Yeah, I think it kind of felt to me like Base either, I think Grant posted this, potentially could pivot to an L1. Like that's maybe on the table here. And like they're becoming less Ethereum aligned with this move of bringing out their own token, I guess, because it's likely going to be governance and potential gas token for their network as well. So I think they're just like at the point where they're just playing their hand in full. They can use token for incentives, and they're probably seeing what's going on right now from all the data. If you're not on Solana and you're an app on Solana, you're not making money. That's where all the big apps are. Or if you're not Hyperliquid, those are the only places that are generating sustainable revenues right now. Base needs wins, and I guess in a way they can bring the token out, incentivize usage, even if it means you just get people over there airdrop farming in the meantime, expectation of receiving the incentive. But I think they're just trying to encourage people to go into that ecosystem. Now, with that, they announced this bridge from Base to Sol, and the ability to use Sol within the Base app for any of the applications, which is pretty wild, to be honest with you. And I think that's where I think Tony said something like Base is pivoting to a Sol L2 at this point.
Yeah, that's the tweet.
But it seems like they're trying to in a way vamp attack Solana, because Base is trying to bring out consumer apps, right? The consumers are on Sol, so it makes sense that they make this play. But I can see it backfiring as well, to be honest with you, because I think you're just going to see an easy bridge to move your assets from Base into Sol now. So
Yeah,
it wouldn't be surprising if they did net lose out to this. But I respect the hustle.
Mike, thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's because it's a case of obviously there's even more chains launching like L1s, etc. And like general purpose L1s are sort of, I guess, like I don't think there will be one that survives in future. Across the board, every team sort of try to find, I guess, their niche and narrative that fits. So based on its current form, I guess like the main thing is virtuals, really, isn't it? In terms of stuff launching over there with the AI agents and like even the robotics now. But apart from that, what incentives is there to build on Base currently? So, by having the token, revamping, I guess, the architecture and what that looks like is a way to, I guess, survive and thrive potentially in future. Because the big thing that everyone needs now is not more infrastructure necessarily; it's apps, isn't it? So with a token, you can, like you're saying, Gaz, it's how Hype have done it, like no token and moving to a token, changing the architecture, having that architecture built, proving your product. Well, they've really proved the product is there, but in terms of like incentive alignment and wanting to build over there, in its current form, why would you do so unless there's some sort of long-term incentives?
And speaking of L2s and speaking of our holiday next week.
Holiday.
So in Korea, so Korea enters the roll-up race. Upbit's parent company unveils Giwa Chain. So Dunamu, the sole-based company behind South Korea's largest exchange, Upbit, has officially introduced its new Web3 infrastructure brand, Giwa. The announcement was made during the Upbit developer conference in Seoul, where Dunamu detailed how Giwa aims to expand blockchain accessibility for developers and users both locally and globally. So at the heart of the new brand is an L2 built on optimistic roll-up technology designed to scale efficiently. The chain supports smart contract-based applications and is currently available on testnet. Dunamu likened its design to traditional Korean roof tiles, or Giwa, which is the translation, so I understand, which interlock to create durability. In the same way, Giwa Chain is intended to securely stack data while supporting the growth of decentralized apps. So this feels sort of like a Coinbase / Upbit play happening over in Korea, doesn't it? It's like Upbit have looked at it and gone, we'll build a chain.
Why not?
Everyone's building a chain.
Yeah.
More chains and users.
Yeah.
I think it could make for some seriously interesting opportunities, though, because as you know, the Koreans can stick the pump on stuff. And so if you've got like local teams building out apps on top of this chain, I think we need to be digging for the alpha in KBW next week.
Yeah, I think Joo-hyuk with the old kimchi premium will come in handy.
We get it back on.
But yeah, interesting. So speaking of Korea, how are you feeling about next week, fellas? We've got so much to do.
There's even more come through this morning.
Yeah, we've got loads to do. We're doing, I think I've got like 4 interviews lined up. We've got more side events that I've ever known as being invited to be asked to go to. Media partner at Fogo's, Fogo Fest, Kaito and Kite AI's Hash Lounge. We're going to be with the Roll Up and Newton and ZK Sync at their event. It's looking busy, fellas.
Yeah, it's Sunday. It's going to be okay. It's sort of bedding, I think. Well, I think we've got an interview on Sunday, haven't we? But yeah, it is going to be a busy week. But I don't mind. I think it's exciting because there's a hell of a lot going on and just completely different events and different people that we've seen in previous events as well. So it'll be exciting to see Seoul. I've never been. I know you have, Val. Have you been, Gaz?
No, the first time in Seoul, so I'm looking forward to having my Korean experience.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, if you're out there next week,
Come say hello.
Come say hello. Drop us a tweet. We have got the big event on the Friday as well with Stargate and Layer Zero and the Four Pillars guys. It's massively oversubscribed. So if you want to get in, I suggest you come early because we've got so many people that we haven't yet approved. So yeah, on that note, good luck. Hope you get in. See you later. Bye.
See you later on.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.